Okay, y'all. We are live. Carmelo Anthony trial update. Did the prosecution prove their case? We will be getting into a breakdown of what updates are out there right now. I will be trying to get Neek at night on the channel to come speak from her lens. Sherrod the Ock. I even tried to holler out at Queen Sheba, my sisters. You know what I mean? See what's going on. Maybe they could update me as far as, and Nick Nack as well. People from TikTok, people from YouTube, all people that are there live at the trial, including my guy Mel from Watching the World 777. Now, today we're talking about the Carmelo Anthony trial. This is an update of the first 3 days of testimony. Now, the prosecution has now rested, and that's important because the question is no longer what people think. The question is whether the prosecution has proved this case beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, over the first 3 days, the prosecutors has focused heavily on eyewitness testimony, video evidence, the first responders, the medical testimony, and the moments that's leading up to the fatal confrontation. Now, their argument has been simple. Carmelo Anthony was not acting in self-defense. The prosecutors say that he entered another school's tent area, refused to leave, and escalated the confrontation, and then used deadly force against someone who was not using deadly force against him. Now, several student witnesses testified that Carmelo Anthony was the aggressor, or that he helped create the confrontation. Now, the jurors also heard emotional testimony from witnesses who were present during the fatal poking, and from the first responders who attempted to save Austin Metcalf's life. Now, on Saturday, the prosecution rested after calling 21 witnesses. The jury also heard graphic medical examiner testimony about the fatal wound and an additional eyewitness testimony challenging the self-defense claim that defense is going on. Now, the defense has begun presenting its case, and that's where things get interesting. Now, the defense isn't required to prove innocence. Okay, they only need to create reasonable doubt. Now, their position is that Carmelo Anthony feared for his safety, that the Texas law recognizes the right to defend yourself, and that the jurors must evaluate the situation from the perspective that what Anthony believed was happening in that moment. Now, the defense also introduced testimony suggesting athletes commonly move between team tents and that there was no specific policy preventing students from being in another team's tent area. So after 3 days, the biggest questions remain. Did the prosecution prove the unaliving beyond the shadow of a reasonable doubt? Or have they mainly just proven that a tragic confrontation has occurred? Now, from the analysis and from the notes that I've taken, what could have helped the prosecution? Who knows? Because I don't know if the prosecution really fully proved their case. Maybe they feel very confident that they don't have to do too much. I was pretty shocked by how quick they rested, even though we understand that there are Saturday sessions as well, which is going to help speed along the trial. But multiple witnesses reportedly testified that Anthony refused to request to leave the tent area. Several witnesses challenged the self-defense narrative. The medical examiner testimony reinforced the seriousness of the poking. The prosecutors got their witnesses in and rested after 21 witnesses, suggesting that they believe in theory of the case was established. Now, what may help the defense? Now, self-defense remained the central issue. Now, some testimony suggests that Anthony may have been invited into that tent area, or that students commonly mingled in between tents. And there appears to be different witness accounts about exactly how the confrontation even started at all. You know, some people are saying that the witnesses were coached, and they were coached very well. There's a lot of buzzwords. A lot of the testimonies are sounding very similar. I was covering another case, and it seemed like that to me when I was covering that other case. But remember, I'm not eyes on. I'm trying to get there for this week. It seems like this, I thought this case would go on for the 4 weeks, but it seems like this case is going to be wrapping up. Maybe by the 12th, we could be having some deliberations and going into that. So salute to everybody. Let's take a listen into Meek at Night. I will be going into Queen Sheba Darling as well. And let's just hear from their lenses what they think happened or what they've seen so far from inside and outside the courtroom. So first, we're going to start it off with Meek at Night.
Boom. Let's get back into it. So, okay. So he said that Melo was trying to escalate the situation and trying to provoke Austin into maybe starting a fight. Austin was calm, and then he started to get aggressive. He said that Karmelo was provoking. He said Austin leaned in and Karmelo stabbed him. The knife came from the backpack in Karmelo's lap. He had his hands in his backpack. He thought it was a bluff. And then this is when they started using the buzzwords. They said, why did you think that he was bluffing? So they're basically asking this witness, when Karmelo put his hands in his bag to insinuate, like, you know, don't come over here and F around and find out, why did you think that it was a bluff? And then this is the buzzword. We live in a safe area, and they don't see anything like that. And then so they said that he heard the knife fall because he just heard like a clunk. And Karmelo jumps out the tent and runs a little. Austin, while Karmelo was like running, Austin like revealed that he had got stabbed. He lifted up his shirt and then he fell down the bleachers onto his back, then lifted up his shirt. That, you know, there was a bloody stain, and it says he was thinking like, I gotta get up and see what happened. And he pulled out his phone and he called the ambulance. And they wanted to know, like, okay, so what kind of push was this? Was it a heavy push? Was it a light push? You know, like, what was it? And then he says, it was a light shove or a hard shove. I would say it was in between. Hunter was at the bottom of the tent and not involved with any of this. And nobody ganged up on Karmelo or anything. He went to the bottom of the bleachers and ran onto the track when he left. He says that he called 911 while following Karmelo, and then he hung up with 911, and then he went to his bus and called his mom. Then a police got him and got him to the field for an interview. Shows where it happened and where he sat on the bleachers. He was close enough he could have reached out and touched either Melo or Austin. And then they played his 911 call. So on his 911 call, he says, my friend just got stabbed. And then they wanted to know, well, who did he get stabbed by?
Hold up. This is from someone that's locked, that was in the courtroom as well.
But I feel like in this situation that they're going to have to put on more of a case than they usually would in this instance. Like, they have to tell more of Karmelo's side of the story. I think Toby did a good job yesterday, bringing in the scenario, another possibility of how this happened, instead of it being like Karmelo just stood up, he got pushed and poked him. It does kind of give another scenario of opening the mind of how it possibly actually happened. Because even when the prosecutors had Jose demonstrate how Karmelo allegedly stood up and poked Austin, it was null and void. I'm gonna mute you, Star, unless you're talking to me.
Yeah, I'm almost finished now.
Oh yeah, she's not. They had Jose stand up. I mean, they had Jose do the demonstration of how he allegedly saw the poking, because he said he didn't see it. But he said the angle he was, but from what he saw, Karmelo stood up and poked him. But he had already testified that Karmelo was sitting down, and then that he was addressed. They said that it was like he was sitting down the whole time, right? And you stood up to demonstrate it. So that's not an accurate demonstration, correct?
Say again, if I missed it.
So when Jose yesterday reenacted with the prosecution, how he said Karmelo poked Austin, he stood up to do it. And then on redirect, he was like, okay, with the prosecution, you stood up and did it. He was like, but to be truthful, we've already established Karmelo was sitting the whole time. So you're basically saying like he got in like your reenactment of what happened can't be truthful, because it has already been testified several times, even from you, that Karmelo sat down the whole time. He never stood up until after the incident happened.
Right. So let me ask you this: if you're saying that they properly raised, or let me not phrase it that way. If you believe that they clearly presented their narrative, two questions: Did Judge Roach at any point during the state's presentment say self-defense has been raised?
No.
I feel like it's been raised yet.
Okay. So this is right. So this is Karmelo's defense. So during the state's presentment, at no point did the court say, okay, self-defense is raised? The second question is the directed verdict got denied, right?
Yes, it did.
So if his narrative is clear, right, and okay, we gonna concede that I don't believe Mike gave an argument, right? But if the narrative is clear,
is Mike playing possum? I don't know, bruh.
If it's clear, if there's no question whatsoever, right, that motion probably would be granted, although it's rare. And I think I said this in Creed's live the other day or yesterday. There's enough to proceed. There is enough probability. The state laid enough probability out there for him to deny that motion for a directed verdict. The narrative is not clear for me, in my opinion. And if they would be relying on the state's witnesses to clarify that, or whatever witnesses they intend to call. So that's why I say what I say.
That's an interesting look. I like that one, though. I like that look, though.
So I think we would be relying on those witnesses, man. And I think, as of what we know, without knowing the defense's witness list, Karmelo's the only one. You know, not that I would want him to take the stand, but as for what we know of the witnesses, Karmelo's the only one that knows the clear narrative that we would want to be out there.
The thing that I do, I want Karmelo to take the stand because
Me too.
Because Hunter didn't. So basically,
Well, we don't know if Hunter is.
he's not. Okay, so here's what he didn't take it for the state. The state is done.
Yeah, the state is done. You're right, Nick.
Will Hunter take the stand? And should Karmelo take the stand? I'm telling you, even if you're telling the truth in court, those prosecutors is serious. It's what they do for a living. They will shred you up and have you looking. You could be talking about your own mama. They have you looking like you lying about your own mama. It's real.
It's done. He can't do that. So for me, I want Karmelo to go up on the stand and kind of take advantage of it, not having to combat a emotionally grieving twin. He can just tell his story, because at the end of the day, all them kids lied, but what they did say is that Hunter was backing Austin, and Austin was the one who initiated. I mean, Hunter was the one that initiated.
Hunter was the initiator.
Yes.
Hunter initiated it.
And was standing next to Austin the whole time.
Well, some of the kids, lied and said, no, he was down at the bottom.
Even the ones that lied on cross. Yeah, on cross, they got hemmed up on cross.
Yes.
So even the ones who lied on direct, they got him. The truth came out on cross.
And it seemed like they was heavily coached, which, you're going to prep your witnesses. It seemed like they had certain key words that they were all using, which shows how much you've been coached. You know what I mean? Not taking away from their side of the story, whether they're telling the truth or the lie, but I just know that they were heavily coached.
This is all the defense now. So Hunter's not going to get called by the state.
You know, that in itself, it tells me.
Make sure y'all can hear it clear. Just tell me if y'all can hear this clear, because this is live. I'm trying to give y'all some live feed. Neek said she gonna hit me. I'm gonna try to pull Neek into the live. She could talk to me from her own labs and speak to y'all and tell me what she's thinking about the case. I hit Queen Sheba Darling and a few other content creators that I work well with. You already know the vibe.
Make it seem like he wasn't involved and doesn't have anything that he could contribute, but he was there. And you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, what is it that they don't want Hunter to understand to say? That's what tells me that the defense is more than likely going to call him. And you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, Hunter should have been a key witness for the state because he implicated himself in this matter. He was one of the first people, you know what I mean? Like, the people question. So the fact that they didn't call him at all, that tells me that they're afraid of what he might say or what he's going to reveal.
It seems that way. Why would the prosecute, even though he's the brother, this is a tragic situation, and condolences to their family, regardless of what, man. Condolences to the Metcalf family. You know what I mean? But they didn't call Hunter. You know what I mean? And Hunter was instrumental to the whole situation. It seems like he was the one that initiated the first contact. So why didn't they call Hunter? What are they scared of, you know? And will the defense call Hunter as a witness?
Because you know,
You are absolutely 100% correct.
So
Absolutely.
the fact that the last witness introduced Hunter is going to be the leeway to have Hunter be presented on the defense. That's what I was trying to say. So it wasn't, and Nick Nack was calling me out, so I just wanted to clarify that. I'm sorry if I came up with wrong.
That's good to know. The last witness mentioned Hunter, so that could be a segue into Hunter being called as a witness by the defense. The prosecution has rested. The defense is up to bat. My question was, because, you know, it's not up to the defense to prove it. It's up to the state to prove that, you know what I mean? So do the prosecution get in there for a couple of days and get out? Do they let it drag on a little bit as long as the prosecution was there or longer? That's a whole thing too, you know? Because sometimes you could do too much. You could get the cooking and do too much. So that's a whole thing that we need to figure out.
That wasn't enough to bring Hunter. So because Hunter is the state witness, it takes a little bit more for the defense to be able to open up the door to allow Hunter in as a witness. On the defense side.
That was what I was going to ask too.
Ooh, he's saying that it's going to take a little bit more for the defense to introduce him as a witness. Oof. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's get to Neek, though. Let's see what Neek talking about. We do got to get the Queen Sheba Darling. Shout out to both of my sisters. They're doing an excellent job at the trial. Make sure you subscribe to their channel. Make sure you're running them up too as well. Hit their Cash App. Do anything that you got to do to support these queens that's out there. Boots on the ground. And it seemed like Neek got a hater. I heard somebody out there hating on my sis, Neek. Neek, I soon get boots on the ground. Word. They trying to blame Neek for some odd thing. Chill. I want to hear from Neek Lenz directly, so I don't want to speak too much. But that's what I've heard, that Neek got a hater out there, and we're not doing that. Because Neek been doing great trial coverage, and we're not there for that. We're here for Karmelo Anthony trial. We're not here for what no spectators, no naysayers, or whoever's talking about from the outside of a court, or even if you inside that court. Cover the trial. Do what you got to do. Stop the fake clout chasing and a victim, throwing yourself as a victim vibe. We're not doing that. We're really not doing that. People are making this thing about themselves. This ain't about you. This ain't about you. Okay? So Sarah, that's your name, lady? It ain't about you. Stop being a damn Karen. We're not doing it.
And then he says he was wearing a gray essential hoodie. He's black. He's wearing blue sweats. He was stabbed in his chest. Austin got stabbed in the chest. Yeah, he is with a coach. We're all walking to our buses. And then he said, yes, ma'am, everyone is being evacuated out the stadium. And then they said, you remember that call? He said, yes, sir. Hard to listen to. Hard day. And then he said, yeah, it was a hard day. It says,
everybody hit that like button. You know, Uda don't ask y'all for much. Want y'all hitting the like button. You can share if you can. I don't be live that much. My time's valuable. Make sure you're doing your part, regardless of what side you fall on the fence of this trial. I want you to just drop a like. It's free, and that's what we need to learn how to do, support each other when it comes to free things. Make sure you're just hitting the like button. That's all I ask of you. Salute to y'all. Let's get back to Neek.
He showed a video of them enter with another kid from a different school with the twins into the stadium. And then it showed a picture of him and his friend following Karmelo out. So they showed like a freeze frame of the surveillance where they were like running after Karmelo and walking him out. It says, did Melo tell Austin what he would have to do to get him to leave the tent? He said, only thing I remember, he said, is touch me and find out. And then they wanted to know, do you see Karmelo in court? So when they're doing this testimony, it was right after they had played the 911 call of the student calling to report that that their friend just got stabbed. Now, when they played that 911 call that the teammate had did, I noticed that the Metcalf family was crying. And then I wrote a note and I said, jurors are looking at the Metcalfs while they're crying. Because they was like looking over and looking at them while they're crying. It says, So it says, who was the one who was provoking? They said Karmelo was provoking.
And also, just a keynote, I just want to say, you know what I mean? These people, the Metcalf family, have lost a son, a brother, cousin, whatever. You know what I mean? So some people saying like it's fake cries or fake this and that. We need to stop that. There is no winner in this case here. Okay? A child is gone and one is fighting for his life and his freedom. That's what's happening here. So everybody on both sides of the fence are saddened by this whole thing. So let us just have some humanity when we're dealing with a case like this, because there's no winners in this. Okay? The question just comes down to, because we know that Karmelo did what he did, but does he need to spend 20 years or the rest of his life in prison based upon what happened and transpired in that confrontation? And was he the person that's initiating this confrontation? And we don't know why he was carrying the poker. We don't know why, but we do know that it's legal there for him to have it. But we don't know if he was being threatened. We don't know. I remember being young when I was in school, so I was like 13 years old. Bro. I ain't really had no beef in school like that because, you know what I mean? I was on some other type of vibes. You know what I mean? 6th grade, I had one confrontation with some 8th graders and like that. And I had a smooth sailing throughout my whole time in junior high school. But one of my friends came to me one day and he came to me. He was like 6 foot something. I'm like 5 foot something at the time. I'm 5'10" now. And he came to me, he was like, yo, they going to jump me, yo. And I was like, word, they going to jump you? Word? They going to jump me tomorrow. I'm like, word? So I went and got my father's, he had a flick out joint like this, and I brought it to school with me. But the security guards used to search me like every other day in school. It's just crazy, randomly, just crazy. But this day they came to search me, they found the knife, got me, grabbed me up, and they ended up expelling me out of school and all that. You know what I mean? I had to go to a whole nother school. It was crazy. But look, I didn't have the weapon for me. I had the weapon because my friend was being threatened. They was going to jump my friend. They was talking about they was bringing weapons and all type of stuff. So I just bought it just to make sure that my friend wasn't going to get done dirty. And I ended up getting done dirty by security and the rest of it. I ended up getting kicked out of school. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? And put me in another school. So it just goes to show you, we don't know the mindset of why someone's doing something. I didn't have it for myself. I had it to protect my friend. You know what I mean? So that's just a real life situation based on something. And I was like 13 years old. I was like in 7th grade, 6th, 7th grade at the time. You know what I mean? So it just goes to show you, we don't know why. You know what I mean? And I'm in New York City, so you can't be carrying no joint like I had. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But there, you can. So it's different in Texas, all right?
And then they said, what did you do the next day after the incident happened? They said the next day after the incident happened, they all went to Austin's favorite restaurant. So when they said that they went to Austin's favorite restaurant, then his mama really started, crying or whatever. And the jurors was like looking and observing. And then it was time for cross by the defense. it says, you were asked if one of the students can go under the tent, and you said probably not. It says, our coach wouldn't like it. They might be able to walk by, but coach says, no, don't let anyone in our tent. And then they wanted to know, okay, so where was Melo sitting in your tent? He said that Melo was sitting outside of the tent. So they had a tent, and then according to this witness, Melo was outside of the tent. Okay. So then they showed him this big diagram of the stadium blown up. And then he says that Melo and Eddie were both sitting outside of the tent. And then they said, if he was outside of the tent, then what's the problem? And the guy said, well, I guess it was just he was in the relative area. You remember him not even being in the tent. You pretty sure of that? He says, Hunter stayed more at the bottom and Austin was more towards the top. Austin came up the bleachers. At some point, he turned around and Melo was there sitting down outside the tent. He saw them sitting and talking, having a friendly convo, just having a convo. I don't remember if they looked like they were having an argument, but I don't think so. The first person to talk to Melo, somebody said, we shouldn't have people over here. He said, my name is Melo. He was asked to leave and then he got upset. Then they wanted to know if Eddie said anything like, okay, so when all of these people are confronting Karmelo, did Eddie say anything? Did he say like, this is my friend, y'all, you know what I mean, or anything? Did he say anything? They said Eddie didn't say nothing. So mind you, Karmelo, at this point, Karmelo and Eddie done hung out several times. You get what I'm saying? So Eddie clearly was a buster.
Of what's going on in the court.
Hold up, update.
You guys don't hear the cross. And so you're not hearing that the lie is being exposed. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right, because the news is only paid one side of it. They're not saying much about, like, for instance, my next question, Ms. Starr, was, is the defense even inserting their objections?
The first question didn't get answered yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, she was, okay.
No, I'm just saying the first question didn't get answered yet. She told you what was going on. But the answer to the first question, that's why the defense said, subject to recall. Even on the cross, they can't impeach him yet. They have to bring him back, and then that's when they're going to start the impeachment process. Well, then you say right here in your testimony that this, and this happened. So watch the questions when they call him back up. That's when the impeachment starts.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so my question was, what's up, y'all?
What's going on? How you doing today?
Hey,
Yeah, check. All right, so if a lot of witnesses telling like false information and lying and stuff, like how credible do that? Do they still be like credible witnesses?
No, that's why the defense is saying subject to recall. Like I said, like as soon as they come back, that's when they're gonna discredit the witnesses. That's when they can be shooting for pew-pewing for the perjury and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They'll see.
Perjury.
So they can go back on the transcript and show them, like, this is what was said, Your Honor. This witness lied. You know what I mean? This witness committed perjury. You know, so what are we gonna do?
That would help Karmelo a whole bit, right?
My second question was, have the defense been inserting objections, during the process?
Good question. It seemed like Mike Howard slow-footed.
Objections. The day that I was in there were about two. The day I was in there. Unfortunately, I don't have my notes next to me. I'm sorry, and I'm in the midst.
About 2 objections. Listen, from the very beginning, while they was doing jury selection, the prosecutors was objecting. Objection. Prosecutors getting it in. We need to be objecting and figuring it out. If you the defense, right? You need to be figuring that out. But some people saying maybe it's a tactic. Maybe it's a strategy of how the defense is playing it right now. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Are they playing it slow-footed? Try to let the prosecutors get out everything that they get off. So now when they come on the defense and now they could go on the offensive now, maybe, hopefully they do that. If you're the defense, you should be trying to do that right now. And my question is, how long will the defense take? Okay, prosecutors wrapped up very quickly. We also understand that there are Saturday sessions as well to help the trial go faster. But what should the defense do? I want to see their line of witnesses, who they're going to be calling. Will Karmelo testify? Will Hunter testify? These are the two of the biggest key components of what people are thinking. Will his brother Hunter testify? And will Karmelo testify? And just because who knows the story better than Karmelo? No one does, right? But sometimes you could get up there, think you got your story all together, because he's also going to be coached by his representatives, his lawyers. But you could get up there, get shredded, and then you start looking crazy up there. And again, this is what the prosecution do for a living. They done ran through a bunch of people who thought they were sure, people that were lying. They done did this. And it seems like the lead prosecutor is pretty savvy and pretty sharp. So the prosecution team is pretty sharp. I'm not even going to hold you, but I'm waiting to see what Mike Howard and what the defense got going. I mean, like everybody else is, we're waiting to see what the hell's going on with that. I will be giving you updates live from, you know what I mean, as we get the live updates. Let's get back to Neek. I do want to get into Queen Sheba, because she also did some really great coverage on this trial as well. So salute to Queen Sheba, darling, and salute to Neek. So let's listen to a little bit more Neek. We'll ping pong back to Queen Sheba, then we'll ping pong back to Neek. And then I got a couple of other content creators, Devry, and a couple of other people that got an outside perspective on this case. You know, a lot of people are saying that they want Karmelo to burn, man. I'm just going to keep it honest with you, bro. It's not even just a skin color thing. I've seen white people and black people saying, no, he's guilty, and they want him to go, period. So this case is heating up. It's really, really heating up, y'all. So make sure y'all hitting the poll. Do me a favor. Make sure y'all liking and just hitting that poll. Do you think he's innocent? Do you think he's guilty? Or if you don't know, you don't know. But make sure you're hitting the poll. All these things are free. And this is what I'm saying. All right. So salute to y'all. When I see the support, I'll be live more often for y'all and give y'all more coverage of cases and cases like this, you know?
Like a little twerk. How do you say? Not a little twerk, but a little
twerk.
What's the T word I'm looking for? Like a little twerk, like a little. Twerk. He was a little buster. You've been kicking it with this boy. Y'all been cool. Y'all ain't had no bad vibes. Y'all ain't had no argument. He come dap you up, and then people talking to him sideways, and you don't even open up your mouth enough. Like you don't have the cojones. A little twerk. Yeah, there we go. Like you don't even have the cojones to tell your friends this is.
He's talking about the person who allegedly invited Karmelo into the tent or was speaking to Karmelo when he went to go sit inside this tent. So during this whole kerfuffle, I didn't hear anything from this person. You know what I mean? Did he say, yo, come on, I invited him here. This is my friend. Yo, come on, y'all chill. So we never heard that side. So maybe this is who Neek at night is referring to when she's calling him a twerp or whatever. But, you know, it's a lot going on, especially when you kids. You know, we got grown adults be wanting to fit in. We on YouTube, we on live, we on TikTok, we on Instagram, bro. People want to fit in. They grown ass adults jacking some stupid. You be like, how you even standing behind this dumb shit? People want to fit in. So we you know what I mean? We cannot underestimate the mind of a younger person. These kids are young. You know what I mean? You want to fit in. You don't want to seem like the odd one out. You got friends. You probably have friends in the beginning. I don't know the story. You know what I mean? But I will give them some rope and some leeway because they're young kids, man. And I see grown adults trying to fit in. Mum's the word, not standing up and defending what they know is wrong, defending the right in it. We see it every day. And that's why I had to pull myself back from a lot of panels, because I just watched that going on all the time. And I've never came to YouTube for that. I always came to bring my people together, and we build on things. Men and women talk about our differences, anything that we have, because this is the reason why our children are on a drill and doing certain things, because we're so focused on what we ain't doing right that our kids is outside not doing right. So when we get it together up top, our children will follow suit. So just remember that. Let's get back to this.
Is my friend, or this is such and such girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever. Like, oh, this is my cousin boyfriend. Because the girl that Karmelo dates, he called her his cousin. So scary. There you go. Little scary, little twerp. You chilling with this boy, y'all got all these pictures, y'all doing family functions, and then people are pressing him, and you don't even have the balls to say, like, chill, this is my cousin's boyfriend.
Damn, that's crazy, though.
Half the students didn't even know that Eddie and him was cool like that, because Eddie just sitting there while they pressing him, and he know dang well the only reason why he over there is because he was coming to talk to him.
Damn.
That's
nasty work. We're going to call him E. Still a young person. I call him E. They're probably 19 by now, because Karmelo's around 19 too. But if that's the case, you know what I'm saying? Well, we've all been in situations like that, man. A lot of us have, if not all of us. But you know what I mean? A person that's supposed to be trying to hopefully represent us or hold us down ain't hold us down. They done ran on us and all that, left us when in the thick of the fight, in the thick of the battle. So a lot of us been through a lot of these situations, you know what I mean? I don't know what the young guy, E, I'll call him E for the sake of, you know what I mean? I don't know what was going through his mind. So I don't want to put nothing on his mind. But it seemed like you have way more connections with Karmelo, girlfriend, cousin. Y'all got all these images, pictures, and y'all was the ones that was chopping it up in the tent talking. So maybe you could have been a mediation. You know, maybe you could have came up to say, listen, man, he here because I'm talking to him. Yo, listen, yo, bro, just go ahead, son. Da, 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 da. Maybe that could have been an intermission in between all of the whole confrontation. You know what I mean? But everything is happening so fast, man. That's why we can never underestimate that part. You can't skip that part. Everything is happening very fast. I think this whole thing took a few minutes. The whole altercation from he came into the tent was maybe like 4 minutes. So things happen very fast. You know what I mean? So I don't know why his friend, his supposed alleged friend, didn't speak on his behalf or just try to get into the middle to say, yo, look, man, let's not do this. Speak to his friends, Austin and his brother. Speak to Karmelo. Say, all right, cool. It's getting hot. It's all good. Yo, listen, let's just try to, you know what I mean? Let's just move from here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because he could have been the one to say, yo, come, let's just go. You know what I mean? It's storming, it's raining, there's a whole bunch of things going on. You know what I mean? But sometimes we need that friend or that person that's going to step up to say, yo, look, man, chill, y'all. Maybe talk to Karmelo too, say, yo, come, let's go. I'm going to follow you, bro. Let's go to the next tent, or let's go over here under this bleacher or somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we have to be the ones to step up, because a lot of times things get fast forwarded into a situation like this one. It's tragic. It's tragic on both sides, you know? It's tragic.
Friends like that or associates like that, who need enemies? Somebody said peer pressure and trying to fit in. I mean, I get it. Like, there's peer pressure and then there's busters.
Damn. She called him a straight up buster. Cold world. Cold world. He didn't speak, though. As far as the testimony goes, it seemed like he was mum's the word and he was very silent. Like a lot of people I've seen in my life, you know what I mean? They call me for, you know what I mean, when they want me to get active for them and all of that, but they've been around and they ain't get active. You know what I'm saying? But I can't blame people. I just cut people off. But, you know what I mean? Luckily, God is so great that, you know what I mean? I never lost my life, but it's just something to think about. You know what I mean? And a lot of times people don't got that same intention for you that you have for people. I'm a person that risks my freedom for people, risk my life. That's all I have. Give my last to people. You know what I'm saying? Share with people. But sometimes they get it mixed up. So I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. Hurts my heart, but I can't be mad. You know what I mean? I'm still here. God is great and I got a blessed life. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? Let's go into Queen Sheba a little bit. because Neek is getting in her bag right now. So we're going to let Neek warm up. And I'm looking forward to having Neek on the channel in a little while. She'll be jumping on and joining me too as well. So let's just hear what Queen Sheba's talking about.
I have to be honest with you, is because we really don't get a chance to eat. So I'm going to try to get some dinner tonight. And if not, I'll just make it do what it do. But I did not want to skip tonight giving you an update. This is what I wrote down. Oh, I met, not intentionally, but I was able to lay eyes on and
Metcalf
speak
family.
to some of Austin Metcalf's friends this morning who attended the trial. Seemed like really good kids, okay? The kids that go to high school. I just wanted to say that. I don't want to say too much, but they were very mannerable. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. And I was able to meet them at by the vending machines. All right. So this is what Karmelo Anthony was wearing today. He had on a charcoal gray suit with a white shirt and a gray and white tie. Why do I tell you that? Because I want to create a courtroom experience. You're not in the courtroom. I am. And a part of me covering the trial is to give you a bird's eye view. So the state continued, and we're moving really quick. The state called their first witness to the stand, which was a 17-year-old male. Okay. He was 16 at the time of the incident, and he's scheduled to graduate with class 2027. His mom was in the courtroom. He shared a little bit of information. He is a wide receiver. He runs the 110 and 300 meter hurdles for Memorial. They asked him, can you tell us what happened on the day at the track, April 2nd, 2025. He says, yes, I arrived to the track on the bus. Is my audio coming through good? Before I get into the details, we're good? Is the audio coming in? And then moderators, I need you to abandon the hellos. Is the audio coming in good? We good? We good? Give me a 1. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. He arrived. He testifies under oath that he arrived on the bus. They located a spot to set up the tent, and he was a little bit further behind some of the other boys. The state begins to ask him, do you know that you're not supposed to bring weapons? He said, yes, sir. He said, was there bad weather that day? They say not on arrival, but it was bad weather on and off. He said, let me ask you a question. Approximately 10 minutes before 10 a.m., where were you? He said, I was in a tent. I was just kind of looking around to find somebody to talk to. He said, what was everybody else doing? He said, some people were on their phone. Well, he said, what was everybody else doing? Were there other kids on their phone? Yes. What happened next? He said, I saw someone I didn't know. Give me a second. I saw someone I didn't know. He said, and I asked a few people on the team, do you know this guy? And they said, well, why did you ask him that? He said, because he had on no school gear. He wasn't wearing any school gear. And he said, well, if he was an athlete, it would be okay, right? For him to be under the tent to come sit down and talk. And he said, yeah. He said, but because you don't know who he is, you were confused or curious about why was he under your tent, correct?
I just want to tell you about the pauses that she's making. When you're in the court and writing, because remember, I was at trials. When you writing down everything, you trying to write word for word what you think, what you hearing, response from the witness. You be sometime writing chicken scratch. You will read back and don't even know how to read your own writing. You be like, what the hell I done wrote? You trying to write so fast? Whack, whack, whack. Chicken scratch, homie. It be chicken scratch. So that's what she's going through, Queen Sheba, while she's reading this. Trust me. You writing so fast that you got to say, damn, what the hell I was saying? Hold on, let me get it together. I'm telling you, that's what's going on here. Trust me. Bear with her, y'all. Bear with her. She's doing great coverage. Neek is doing great coverage. My girl, Nick, and my homeboy, Sherrod the Ak, they're on TikTok. They're all doing great coverage, being down there. Salute to all of them. And my guy, Mel, watching the World 777.
He said, yes. He said, hold on. Were you upset? No, I can't understand my own writing. Were you worried? He said, no, I just wanted to know who he was.
Did I tell you or did I not tell you just now, bro? I'm not a liar, bro. I don't lie, son. That's why people don't come talking to me unless you want to hear some truth. A lot of people be trying to lie on me. It's all right, though, bro. God upstairs and my Jesus, too. When Jesus saying, "Will stop the lies." Okay, good. But yo, I just told you, I know what's going on because I'm in a trial like that. What do you think them pauses is for? That's what it's for, bro. You write so fast, you just sometimes can't even understand your own writing, man.
He said, what happened after that? He said, well, I don't really have all of the details because it was time for my event. So I had to move down to the front. And I started looking for my teammates to warm up with. And he named his 2 teammates. Where was Karmelo Anthony seated? He said he was seated towards the top of the tent. Tell me what you saw when you noticed a commotion. He said, I saw Austin stand up. Okay. I saw Austin place his hand on Karmelo's shoulder. At the same time, Austin placed his hand on Karmelo's shoulder. I was distracted by one of my teammates.
He touching him. You coming touching me. Putting your hands on me. Not supposed to be putting your hands on no one. Okay? It's something that we tell our children. Do not be touching no one, even if they're saying things to you that you do not like. I don't know if you're a parent like me that is telling your child these types of things. You do not put your hands on anybody. Okay? Because you cannot tell how someone's going to react. I'm not justifying what happened to Austin at all. But we cannot be putting our hands on people. We cannot. We got to keep our hands to ourselves. Unless it's to a point where we really trying to defend ourselves now, and it got to get down like that. We got to keep our hands to ourselves, man.
And I looked away. And when I looked away, a few seconds later, I heard arguing. He said, what did you hear? He said, Austin and Hunter were yelling. He got stabbed. He stabbed me. Did you see it? He said, I saw the motion of the event. And I only got a quick glance at Karmelo Anthony. Okay. Have you seen Karmelo Anthony at other track events? And he said, yes, I have seen Karmelo Anthony at other track events. Didn't call other boy aggressive, trying to make him. Would you say that Karmelo Anthony tried to make Austin do something? Yes. What did Austin do? He placed his hand on his shoulder. Can you explain it? Was it a push? Was it a shove? Was it a grab? Austin grabbed Karmelo. Which came first with the physical contact? Was it Austin? Who made the first move? He said Austin made the first move. Were you surprised by the stabbing? Yes. Was Austin Metcalf? Hold on. Dang, that's my own writing. Hold on, y'all.
Oh, get it together, sis. Get it together. I know the feeling because I was at the trial. I was at Diddy's trial like this. What the hell I done wrote? Am I just chicken already? So you know I was scratched. I'm like, yo, bro, I have to look at my things like 10 times. Luckily, I didn't heard it all. I'm like, yo, listen, I started freestyling. Look, just what happened. When Scandalous got up there, it's crazy. It's real talk, son. Real talk. It's crazy, bro. When you're in a trial trying to get down that thing and I'm trying to write down everything I'm hearing as it is, I don't want to put my own spin on it. I want to write it exactly how the question's asked and to the best of my knowledge of what the person's saying. So it puts you right in the courtroom of what's exactly transpiring at the time. Some people just come out, want to just say their own thought and put their mind on it. Nah, I like to cover it from truthful perspectives, whether the prosecution's cooking or the defense is cooking. I like to just say exactly what I saw in the court. So I know Queen Sheba is one of the same type of people because we were at that trial together, and Neek too as well. So I know that they try to get exactly what's written down from word of mouth, from the people's mouths themselves, you know. Get it together, sis. Skip through a little bit.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, she got it.
Prior to the stabbing, do you know if Austin Metcalf was angry or got angry? I'm not sure. Was Karmelo Anthony angry? No, but he looked suspicious. I made a note that while this witness was testifying, he kept looking at he would take a few glances at Karmelo Anthony. So the state says
he looks suspicious, but he's the one getting pressed. People pressing me, twin brothers, all type of thing going on. People barking commands at me, like my name Ruff. People placing hands on my shoulders. All of this is going on. But I'm the one looking suspicious. Like I'm in here with the Pooh Shiesty mask on. It's crazy, bro. Was these witnesses, i.e., coached too well? It's a good question. Or what were the connections to Austin? Maybe they got deeper connections to Austin, and that's the line of defense they're standing on. I can't be mad at that. That's their friend. Who the hell are you? I'm standing for my friend. You look suspicious, sir. So I can't knock them if they feel that. But I'm just saying, why he's so suspicious, but the people that's pressing him not suspicious as well? Because Austin was a big kid. He was a linebacker. I think at the time, Karmelo weighed like 130 pounds. Austin weighed like 200 and change. Austin was a big boy. Don't get it twisted. So the images that they show as far as him up there, let me go down there, him, come over here somewhere. Yeah, them images, trust me, bro. It ain't it, bro. See? That's not how he look. He don't look like that no more. He don't look like that. Yeah, he don't look like that. So I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's an imposing guy. You're sitting down. He's standing over you. Coming like Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels.
what happened next. He said, Karmelo ran to the right. Hunter tried to grab him. I panicked and I took off running. As Austin Metcalf removed his clothes, I saw his chest and I was scared and I ran. Why did you run? Because I was scared of being stabbed. What happened then? Well, as I was running, I ran into the police. Did you tell them what happened? Yes. Did you stop running when you saw the police? Yes. Because you felt safe then, correct? Yes. Then what happened? So the 17-year-old continued to testify that Hunter, at this time after the stabbing, was next to Austin. Hunter initially attempted to chase Karmelo, but he quickly returned to Austin. He said at this point, the teachers and the trainers were around Austin, clearing the space around Austin, and they made all of the students stay back. So he was only allowed to watch from afar, and all of their backpacks were left in the tent. He said, your mother shared that you've received some counseling. Have you received counseling because of this incident? He said, yeah. As best as you understand what self-defense is, was this self-defense? He said no, because he used lethal force against non-lethal force. They passed the witness to the defense, and at this time, the defense cross-examines. They talked about the incident. He said, where'd you go, Buzz? Okay, so after the incident, where did you go? He said, I went to the bus. And then what happened? Well, I was interviewed by a detective. Do you know how long Karmelo Anthony was under the tent? No. But you told the detective you knew him before. Yes, sir. You told the detective that Karmelo Anthony has been in the memorial tent before at previous track meets. No, I didn't say that to the detective. Okay. Well, let me refresh your memory. I have
1 in 1,000 chance,
Update.
like Queen Nick just mentioned. 1 in 1 million is still an opportunity. People play the lottery every week, every day, with taking the chances of 362 million chances of it happening, and it does happen. So I think she left the door open, and I'm hoping that the defense will elaborate more on that.
Nick Nack, could you come out?
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, I think he fell off.
Oh, okay.
I want to ask you this question, and I know I wanted him to ask him because if he was to the point where he can see what's going on, I want to ask you this right here, right? When he was first on the stand, everything was good.
What do you mean?
The one that was having the panic attack. When he first on the stand,
I mean, you could tell he was just naturally nervous, like, but he was.
when he was first
panicking, right?
on the first on the stand, he was good. Like, you could tell like he was kind of nervous, but not like that, right?
Right. He wasn't like that.
Okay. Is that the one that said Hunter was very intimidated and stuff don't go his way?
Yeah. He said Hunter doesn't like to. He said he doesn't like to be disrespected. He said Hunter doesn't like to be disrespected.
They scared of them boys. But okay, that's what I wanted to know.
The transcripts.
I hear this brother asking, because she's in the courtroom, Knick-Knack, she's in the court. He asking her a question, but you already talking like you, slow down. Slow down. Shout out to my bro, Phil James, always showing love, man. Appreciate you, Phil James. Hopefully your family's blessed. One of my big supporters from my first channel that I ever had on YouTube. Salute to Phil James. Y'all get like Phil James and support the channel. Make sure at least dropping likes, sharing the content, doing things like that. Or comment, or make sure you hit the poll and let me know, what do you think? Do you think that Karmelo's innocent? Do you think he's guilty? Do you just don't know? Let me know what you're thinking. My next poll question that I'm going to be asking y'all can get in the comments and answer if y'all need to, is do you think that Karmelo Anthony should testify on his defense? Do you think that he should testify in this trial? Because there's no better witness than himself. He was there when it all happened. So should he testify? I don't know, man. A lot of people think he should. I just know it's a high tension situation, and those prosecutors could chew you up and they'll have you looking crazy. Some people will have you looking crazy. You could be up there talking truth, and the prosecution will have you tripping up over your words and looking crazy in front of that jury. So do you think that he should testify? Let's just see if Nick got another update real quick, because this is live that I'm timing into. And then I'll be bringing Nick on too, so we could talk about some stuff and ask a few questions. And y'all could even ask some questions of what you're seeing. Nick, Queen Sheba, Sharada Ogg, many other people, Mel. I'll try to bring them all to the channel so that we can talk about this.
More persuasive once the prosecution cross-examined him, because he came on really strong at first. It seemed as if he understood what the assignment was when the defense initially had him there. He even spoke to the fact of it not being a policy until later in regards to where athletes could sit. He spoke well of Karmelo, but then it seemed like once the prosecution got up there, I don't know if he felt the heat of Collin County, because I believe it's not just them being scared of the bully thugs. I think it's more to the Collin County and that whole scenario. But he did kind of change his weather kind of changed there towards the end when he was cross-examined. And I picked that up too, Queen Nick.
From your interview with the detective. So the defense approaches the witness and shows him his account of events, what he shared to the detective. The witness reads that, and at the time I made a note that the Asian lady in the juror began to consult with another juror at that time. I think what happened, well, I don't think. I made a note at this point. I wrote, the defense has established that Karmelo Anthony either knew or had a relationship with someone.
Yep. We've established that E. You just call him E for lack of a better name. I don't want to be putting young people names out there. We heard the name, but I think his E, and if I'm not mistaken, the girlfriend of Karmelo, he was referred to as a cousin, and he had multiple pictures and images with Karmelo. But when this whole confrontation was transpiring, it seemed like he was mum's the word and he wasn't saying nothing. And that's why I said, you know what I mean? Sometimes we need friends that's going to maybe step in the middle sometimes. It don't mean you have to fight, but say something. You know what I mean? Maybe talk to both parties. Yo, listen, all right, y'all. He here because he's talking to me, because it seems that Karmelo was talking to this guy, E. So maybe he could come in the middle and say, listen, Austin Hunter, yo, listen, all right, cool. He talking to me. Yo, look. And talk to Karmelo, not just talk to your friends. Talk to Karmelo too and say, yo, look, all right, cool. It's getting hot. Let's just go. I'm going to follow you over here. Let's see if we could go get another tent. Let's see if we could get some shelter under the bleacher over here somewhere, or whatever we need to do just to break the situation up, because everything happens very fast. And now we're in the situation that we're in right now. So that's what it seems like.
Because the next question was, you told the detective that you said that Karmelo Anthony was talking to other athletes in the tent, correct? No, not talking. He was just trying to talk. He says, so Karmelo Anthony was just trying to talk to somebody. Yes.
What?
So,
Nah. That seemed biased as hell, bro. How you trying to talk? It's either you know some people over there or you don't know them. And it seemed that he knew somebody that was there. So this seems like a biased point of view from this witness himself, not naming no witnesses, but it seemed like a biased point of view. You know what I mean? Maybe he didn't have the whole angle from the beginning to see that Karmelo was speaking with somebody initially and all these different things. He could have never had the vantage point of the view. Who knows? I'm not just going to call him a liar or the witness a liar, but it seems like a very biased point of view. He just here trying to talk to people. What he doing here? He got to know somebody probably. And it seems that he did know someone. So I'm not going to call a witness a flat out liar, but some people are saying some perjuries could be in order here with some of these witnesses. Maybe they were too well coached. A lot of things that are being said in the court wasn't what was said at the time of the incident and the confrontation. Things were said prior that seems like they're kind of buttoned up and kind of switching now that they're in the court and live and giving testimony. So it seems like stories are changing or getting diluted, and things are being maybe omitted or left out the situation. So it seems that way.
what they do, just stare at each other? So what was they doing? Well, the Eddie that he was talking to wasn't looking at Karmelo. He was just shaking his head. So what did Karmelo say? He said about 3 words. Well, what happened the other time when Karmelo was in your tent? He maybe said hi. Okay. So what happened next? You said Karmelo was trying to talk to students. Yes. But the meet previous to this meet, was he under the tent talking to other students? I'm not sure. You had a track meet 10 days before this meet, correct? Yes. Was it that meet that he was talking to other students? Most likely. So that track meet was the Logos at the Logos Theater, correct? Correct. Let me clean it up a little bit. At this point, it became obvious to me that the students have been prepped by the state. What does that mean? I mean, you have to prep your witnesses, right? And at different times, it appeared as if the witnesses did not want to insinuate anything that would put Austin in a negative light. So if you hear me read the testimony where the witnesses are saying, I'm not sure, they are allowed to say that because you can't lie under oath.
Facts. They can say that. I'm not sure. You can say that. So that's not just that. But it just seems like a lot of the testimonies are tailored and they have some key similarities, whether word usage and how things are being said. So it seems that they were prepped very, very well. That's kudos to the prosecution. But did they prep them too well? That's a good question. Did they prep them too well? And is the defense going to key in on this? Because some people are saying they could be leading towards some kinds of looking for perjuries. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. But yeah, it seems like they were prepped very, very well from testimony that I've read so far during this trial.
So if it doesn't make sense, it's okay. I'm just giving you the testimonies. And what happened in this incident when he was attempting to question the witness today regarding what other track meets did Karmelo sit under the tent? He says, I don't remember. I'm not sure. And that's why the defense said, but you had a meet 10 days before this meet. Yes. Okay, so it was the Logos meet. And he said, most likely. He said, let me ask you something. Did you kids pull up photos of Karmelo Anthony on Instagram and pass them around and pass the phone around? He said, yeah. Do you remember Hunter being next to Austin? Yes. While he and Karmelo were going back and forth under the tent? Yes. But you don't remember Hunter arguing with Karmelo? I don't remember what he said. He said, I don't remember what I said. I'm sorry. I don't remember what I said. He said, you told the detective that you remember Hunter being next to Austin while Austin and Karmelo were going back and forth. And now today you're saying you don't.
You don't remember is, I don't know about that. Because when it comes to the prosecution in these trials, they bring back up what you've said. So you can go over kind of what you said, even if they're prepping you for what you need to be looking out for, you know what I mean, what you're going to be answering. They probably give you like, you know, a kind of sketch of what you might be asked during the trial, what they're going to ask you, what defense might say to you as well. But a lot of times, if not, they'll bring up or talk to you about what you said prior so that you understand what's going on, what you have said, just in case you're questioned on that part as well. You don't think you're going to be questioned on your prior testimony, what you said at the scene or whatever the hell? Yes, they're going to ask you that. So they prep you on that too as well. So maybe it's brain freeze going on. Maybe you playing foolish. It could be a mixture of both. I'm not in this witness's head, but it's just kind of coincidental that you don't remember what you said in the prior thing when we know that those prosecutors bring up what you said and kind of try to get you, you know what I mean, up to date with what you've said and what you need to be looking out for and what you need to say today. So I don't know. That seems pretty sketchy to me.
Remember Hunter arguing. He said, I don't remember saying that. He said, well, let me refresh your memory. Here's the transcript. What you said to the detective is they were arguing and the brother hopped in. And you explained to the detective that Hunter likes to defend his brother. Yes, I said it. You also made a statement that Austin Metcalf put his hands on Karmelo's shoulder to intimidate. He's like, no, I don't mean intimidate. I meant more like a warning, you know, like actions speak louder than words. Did you see the stabbing? No. Is Austin Metcalf larger? What do you mean larger? Like taller, bigger? Well, let me ask you this. Does Austin Metcalf play linebacker? Yes. Are linebackers bigger than receivers? Yes. So would not linebackers be intimidating by size, correct? Yes. Do you remember telling Detective Anderson that Austin was done with wanting Karmelo to move, so he grabbed him? I don't remember. And that was the end of that testimony. They go to the second witness. The state calls a second witness, and this is a 16-year-old male. He's scheduled to graduate with class 2028. He plays football, and he also runs track. They ask him, the state starts off, tell us what happened on April 2nd, 2025. He said, I arrived to the track on bus. I helped to unload the tent, the coolers, you know, the bigger boys. We are the bigger boys, and we help with all of that. He said, who helped? It was me, Austin, Hunter. Was there weather on that day? It was cloudy. And it was rainy sometimes. Okay, so what happened then? I walked around with Austin and Rhett back to the bleachers. Hi.
Woo! Boy, this case is serious, man. This case is serious. The prosecution resting so fast. It got me thinking, are they very confident in what they've done? Based on what some people that's there already, I've heard some things from both sides, people that's for it, people that may be against, people that's balanced. Some people are saying that they don't feel like the prosecution has done enough. Others are saying that the prosecution did what they had to do, and this is more of a moral case, not really based on the legalities that he could have possessed that weapon at all. The big thing for me is, what is Mike Howard going to do? He seemed like he's been slow-footed on the situation. There's been a few objections. Could there have been more? Is that a part of the strategy? So that's, I don't just want to put my mind out there to say this and this is that, because it could be a part of the defense's strategies. Make the prosecution get off what they need to get off. Most salute. You know what I mean? Get off what they need to get off, so you know exactly how you need to combat it, and you know exactly what you want to do when you get on to calling your witnesses. So until we see the actual way and strategy that the defense is taking from on Monday, whatever the case, then we'll be able to get an insight into the mind of the defense. You know, some people saying that Mike Howard and his defense team, Toby, and these people are very, very good, and they're doing a good job. Some people are saying that. Others are saying that they need to push the pedal to push it to the limit, like push the gas, homie. What happened? You know what I'm saying? Some people are saying they need to push the pedal to the metal on this situation. The defense is being very patient, though. They're being very patient. I would say that. They're being very patient. I want to know what the witness list looks like. That's why I need to be at these trials, man. I was trying to get there from day one. I'm trying to get there for the second week. Seems like this case is going to be probably wrapped up in the second week, wrapped up maybe by the 12th. We could be having deliberations as early as the 12th. You know, I'm still going to try to make it. I have my flights already, though. You know what I mean? It's just me just trying to make sure things back home is right, my children and things like that. Is why I didn't just spring up to go there. I'd have been there from day one of the trial and been there this whole time. With my thing, because I'm not playing with nobody out there, sir. Not playing with nobody. I heard people is out there wailing. You know what I'm saying? Some other kind of people that ain't our color is out there wailing out there. Neek done ran into one of them. They dragging Neek into some old haterations. Whole Karen. Try and blame Neek for some shit. I don't know what's going on with this woman. It's crazy. I've been trying to do my little history on this lady. It seems like when I start to do some little video on this lady, she might say, oh, Uda, the next one that's trying to threaten to weaponize against me. I don't know what's going on, lady. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like you're trying to make this trial about you, and you are trying to clout chase the situation, okay? A young man has lost his life. One is fighting for his life, fighting for his freedom. This is not about you, me, or anybody that want to George Jefferson they ass up in that courtroom. Ain't about none of us. We got to stop being too personal and making things about us. It's not about us, okay? On both sides, they have two families that want justice. This is what it is. The Metcalfs and Carmelo's family, they want justice on their side. The Metcalfs want justice on their side. One thing we know for sure is that Austin Metcalf is no longer here with us. Condolences to his family. But did Karmelo react the way he could have or should have reacted? I don't think we should take anyone's life, though. I don't. I really don't. But I don't know the threat that he felt. I don't know with him sitting down, this person being an imposing figure to him being 130 pounds, Austin being about 200 and change, like weighed like 100 more pounds than him. I don't know. I don't know what happened in other track meets. We don't know what's been said in other track meets by people. We don't know why he was even carrying that weapon at all. Was it for his safety? Did he feel threatened prior to this track meet? Was it other incidences that happened leading up to this? I guess we'll find out when the defense get up to the bat and they get to saying what the hell's going on, because they're pushing for the self-defense. But what's scary to me, if I was the defense, is the prosecution called 21 witnesses and they've already wrapped their case. They feel confident enough of what they've done on offense that now the prosecution is going on the defensive and now is going to combat and challenge your witnesses and challenge their whole game plan, the defense's game plan and strategies that the defense is going to bring up to bat now. So my question of this video is just, did the prosecution do enough to prove their case so far? Did they? Did they feel like, yo, we don't want to do too much? I think we've established enough information, enough emotion into the jury. Did they establish enough emotion into the jury and pull on these heartstrings? Did they? I look forward to maybe, I like when defense and prosecution is cooking. I like when everybody's cooking. So the jurors really got something to look at and really got something to think about here. I don't like when nobody's slow-footed. I don't like that. I like good sports games. I like battles. I like close games. That's the kind of sports games I like. I don't like no blowouts. I don't like that. It's getting boring to me. Do you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to seeing what the defense is going to do. Are they going to put the pedal to the metal? And are they going to turn up the defense's strategy? Are they going to turn up right now? So I'm looking forward to that. You know what I mean? Shout out to Nick at Night. Shout out to Queen Sheba Darling. Shout out to Nick Knack, who was talking on the live. They're live still right now. Still covering this case. Star as well. They've been giving some really good updates. I think that Nick is down there in Texas. I think she lives there or something, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to Nick Knack. Most definitely giving some updates. She said she's going to go live later on as well. And I went on a live. I joined that live and I spoke to Nick Knack too. And I told her like, yo, I would like for you to come over here and kind of update my people on YouTube as well. Cause you know, I got TikTok too, but you know what I mean? I'd rather her come over here to YouTube, maybe update the people, talk to y'all about what she's seeing from her lens. Maybe y'all can ask some questions to her in the chat or whatever the case, or if she's up to it, I say I could drop the link. Whoever needs to come up, you can hit the panel. Even when Neek is supposed to join me, but you know, Neek got a lot going on right now. She's at the trial covering it. She said she'll hit me later and let me know exactly what's going on. And I'll try to get Queen Sheba as well. You know what I mean? All of my good friends, you know, I got nothing but love for all of them involved here. So, you know, they said that, Uda, you know, I'll come and talk to you. You know what I mean? We come and show you some love and come speak to you. So I do appreciate that. I do appreciate the connection and the bonds that I've made with all of these people, even Mel watching the World 777. made some strong connection, deep bonds with these people. So, I look forward to speaking to them about their side of what they see from outside and inside the court. And I do want to talk to Neek about who is this Karen that's over here trying to throw her up in the mix. You know what I mean? Trying to trauma victim, trying to make it about herself. Sarah, ain't gonna say your last name at the moment for you try to get ooed up in the, yeah. But we need to stop making these things about ourselves. This is about two young people. It's about them. It's about their families. It's about two families wanting justice on both sides. It's not about us. Whether I have a take on it, whether I have an opinion on it, whether if I ever had a side on this or you have a take or an opinion or a side on this is not about us. There's no reason for us to be fighting and striving against each other for this. It's not about us. What is this doing? What is this doing? Just about to hot the spot up in front of the court, at the court for everybody else. That's all it is, bro. And many people is traveling. Many people is taking time out their work schedules and all type of things just to be at this case. We all got families. So let us stop making this about us. Let us stick to the facts. Let us stick to the script. And let us just report the facts. Okay? As we get in the facts, let us just report the facts, man. Please. Salute to everybody that has dropped a like. Salute to everybody that shared the video. Salute to my guy, Phil James, always showing Uda love. You know what I'm saying? Uda don't ask for things. I've been on YouTube for years. I'm not a person that begs for money or nothing like that. I tell y'all sometimes drop likes and share. Sometimes I tell you that. I don't tell you that all the time. I'm just not a person that likes to ask people for things. But I like for people to just do what they think is necessary because I'm one of those people. If I can help anybody, I just do what is necessary. People don't have to ask me for my help. I lean my help to where I have to lean it. Everything is not about taking in life. We have to be givers as well. Pause. But I'm just saying we have to be givers as well. So, you know what I mean? So make sure you're showing love to the people that really deserve it out here. The people that's actually showing love. Okay? Trust me. And I'm going to try to get my ass on go. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to get down there. I'm just trying to make sure everything's good with family, my kids and everything like that. And if God opens the door and I'm able to, I'll be on that plane. Yeah. And getting my ass down there. Most definitely. Already got my ticket too. It's crazy. I got my plane ticket and all that. If I'm not able to use it, it'd be a total bummer. But, family comes first, regardless. That's why I took a big break after the Diddy trial, just to take care of my kids, take care of family, and do things like that. You know what I mean? Just to make sure everything is good. I gave a lot of energy to that trial. I was there every day from crack of dawn, 6 a.m, 5 a.m, all that, covering the trial, bringing that energy, showing love to everybody, bringing everybody together, people that was coming there, visiting, tourists, all of that, all felt the love out of Uda. And that's what God sent me there for. You know what I mean? That's what he sent me there for. So hopefully I was able to make y'all laugh and smile in the case of a tragic situation, which was that whole Diddy case. Some of the testimony was very crazy. But hopefully throughout all of that was going on, I was able to bring a smile to your face and be able to show some love to you too as well. You know what I mean? So I appreciate every one of y'all. I really, really do. Make sure y'all stay on go. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, turn the notification bells on. And I got another channel called Uda On Go Travels. Make sure you check that one out. That's why I'll be putting a lot of my travel content. I've been traveling to many continents on Earth. So I'm most definitely going to put a lot of that content. I just came from Japan. I got a lot of videos from Japan, a lot of different lives and things that I was doing. So I'll be updating my travel channel. So make sure you subscribe here if you're not, and subscribe to my Uda On Go Travels, so that you know what's going on. Oh, I'm going back to Japan I was going to go in a few weeks. I was going to go in August, so salute, we on lock. Salute my boy Mo. Yeah, I was going to go in August, but I might go to the Caribbean first, and then I might go back in maybe October. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm figuring it out. So I might go back to Japan October. I was trying to go in August. You know what I mean? My birthday's coming up on June 21st. So yeah, I might go to the islands first, go check some people, go check some family that's out there. And then from after I go to the islands, go jump in some salt water, some beaches and all that. You know what I mean? Wind up my waist with a couple of baddies. Hold on. Who'da got to have a good time? Fuck you, me. After I do that, you know what I mean? Then I go fly my little scraggly ass down in Japan and all that. Hopefully, hopefully I know more Japanese when I get there, because Uda was out there thugging and bugging. Only know about 3, 4, 5 words, but my 3, 4, 5 words got me through. Arigatou gozaimasu. Arigatou. But it was cool for me. It worked out for me pretty cool. So yeah, I know more Japanese now. So I've been updating myself every day. So I do want to be more prepared with Japanese. Even if I know how to speak it, everything is just written in Japanese too. I was on a train. I took a train one day. I'm looking around like this. Don't understand nothing. Yo, bro, it was crazy. Word up. I was like, nah, never again, never again. I sound like Ja Rule in Japan. Never again would I go to a chain so dark. Great. I was like, fuck this shit. Maybach. I had to get up on the road. You know what I'm saying? I had to get up on that road. But yeah, so I will be updating y'all. Like I said, subscribe here, hit the likes, hit the notification bells, support the channel as much as y'all support it. And make sure you subscribe to my Uda on Go travels as well. You know what I mean? Because I will be updating it. I'm gonna update it with some of my other trips that I've taken as well. I got a lot of videos. I like historical stuff though. I like to do that. I like to go to museums. I like to see cultural things. I like to see stuff like that. That's what I like. So I'm not like these passport bros that go ahead, me buy box now. Hurry up and buy. No, not that guy. Okay. Anything she did for me, oh, she did it for free. Facts. But yeah, so I like to see cultural stuff. So even like the British Museum, I do want to show y'all like a lot of those videos and shit that I took from like the British Museum in London. It's dope, man. And it's a lot of history that we really, really need to think about, because a lot of our history is in there. Trust me, they got a lot of the relics in the British Museum, bro. Metropolitan got some, but the British Museum as well, and other places that I've traveled to as well. So I look forward to showing y'all some of that content. So make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hitting the notification bells, and make sure you're notified when I'm dropping new content. You already know the vibe. That's my name in sign language. Uda, Uda, Uda. Forever, forever and a day on go. You know what I mean? So make sure y'all subscribe to the channel.
All my niggas from the Uda. All my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn racks. All my niggas turn shooters. On the internet, you ain't been a threat. All my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn racks. All my niggas from the Uda. All my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn racks. All my niggas turn shooters. On the internet, you ain't been a threat. You been stuck in a computer. Show me the proof. All my niggas turn shooters. All my niggas from the Uda. Welcome to the Uda. All my niggas from the Uda. All my niggas turn shooters. Uda. All my ops turn racks. All my niggas turn shooters. On the internet, you ain't been a threat. You been stuck in a computer. Show me the proof. All my niggas turn shooters. All my niggas from the Uda. Welcome to the Uda. All of my niggas insane. They tryna catch a mistake. Young niggas putting in pain. It in the game, all for the game. Niggas ain't playing for nothing. Went in school, laying it bang. My little nigga kill my little nigga. Full-time job not to kill niggas. Jump off the porch of the field, nigga. You was in the house, I'm a field nigga. No fuck boys around real niggas. Been a drug dealer since a little nigga, Took it a kilo, they'll kill a nigga. Fuck how you feel, nigga. To get some kilos, I'll kill a nigga too. Throw that rock like I'm Montana. Good head, raise my antennas. G49, not San Fran. Beat the box with my bandana. Then I dip set like I'm Santana. I'm in UK like that Montana. She bring me money, you press her. You got a jug of Vanessa. I give a dick that'll change your life. You leave her change on the dresser. Shorty, a wetty, a wetty. That pussy ready, get ready. Don't wanna get ahead of myself, but I want the head for the Getty. She said she fuck with the